Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, May 26th. We're looking at the market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trader, and we had a little bit of everything today. We have a huge gap up on both the weekly and the daily. Then we have a bad tick again, which totally distorts everything on the charts. We never saw the opening again. On a day where the indices were up all day, yes, NASDAQ gave back a lot, but we were up over 2% at one point. We ended up over 1.25%. We never saw the opening again, which I kept harping on throughout the day, saying that's a little nuance. It's kind of got me. There were a lot of different things that made today kind of difficult to trade. I had a good day. I only made 4 trades on the day. But it was a good day, but there were conflicting things in my mind. We had higher value all day, obviously. We had a huge gap on the daily and still one on the weekly that's not huge anymore, but was a decent size. Yet we took out the initial balance from the downside. We took out my pre-market low in SPY. ES did not take out their pre-market overnight high or low, that's rare, less than 3% of the time. I thought they might get it in M. In fact, I had my best trade of the day in M because of that, because I finally jumped on board the short train. I called the afternoon rally high perfectly, but had I shouldn't say I had zero patience, because I held the trade for about an hour and a half, and then I finally put it to bed, and then we flushed in KL and M, the bottom of KL and M. So a good day overall, considering how conflicting it was at times. Did the Bulls win the day? Of course they won the day. However, the Bears certainly finally an M period push. Now again, you don't put a lot of weight on M period. It's a price probe down. Downside price probes have been rejected continuously over the last 2 years. But you're going to see on the chart on the weekly when we got up to that level this morning. Now we didn't get we probably got closer to it than I thought. I rounded it out to 302.50. We got up to 302.19. I was looking to take a short around that level, but we stayed above the opening literally for a minute or two, and then that was it. So as far as my trades, I made one in C period. So we had the initial balance. We one-time frame down. C started coming up. Looked like it was going to take B's high. Got long before it did. Popped it for one long trade. Then again in G period, we went down, we made new lows in B and E. F had an inside bar. G came down. Once we couldn't take out B's low, I got long and then rode it back up. Took some off at F's high, took some off at POC, and then some off the rest at around its high. That turned out to be a nice trade. So those were 2 longs. And then my last 2 were shorts. I period. So H went up. I didn't want to be the innovator and say, okay, I'm shorting H's high, because I don't know if that's an afternoon rally high. There was a lot of conflicting things going on. Remember, yes, we took out our initial balance, and yes, I got my pre-market low, but ES did not take out their overnight low. We still had the C and D level that were right near each other. I was comfortable taking a short in I, because I said as long as we don't take out D's high, which was 4 cents higher than C's, I have this in 6-tick increments. As long as we didn't take that out, I was comfortable. If we took that out, then the odds were we were going to at least test the opening. Once we never took it out, I was comfortable. And I at least 2 or 3 times, I added an I kept it in J. Same thing, K went back up. And it turned out to be a decent trade. However, when K finally took out J's low, got to POC, wasn't getting much, I took it off. Now, I could have put it back on in L. I did not. L went up, went down. And then M, when M finally flushed, I didn't take a short in M until down around here. And then I had a good trade on it once it pulled down to its lows. All right, destinations for tomorrow. So now we go out with a price probe to the downside on a day when we were up 1.25%. This market gives you beautiful things, let me tell you. 299.90. That is our price probe, which is E's low. Then we have 9 wide at 300.84, C's low. Above that, we have the afternoon rally high of 301.47, H's low. And then today's high of 302.19. For the downside, we have I'm going to give you today's low and then both gap fills separately. So we have today's low of 298.69 filling the weekly gap at 297.87. That's an 82-point gap. And then we have today's low of 298.69 and filling the daily gap at 295.63. That's a 306-point gap. So still a decent-sized gap. And don't forget we have the other one below us, which is over 560 points. Then below that, we have 295.45, the price probe for May 22nd. And then 294.25 afternoon pullback low from that day, and 293.22 daily low. So remember, on Friday, right, we went out with a price probe, right? That one was firmly accepted, obviously, this morning. Okay, and here's your bad tick. Here's one other interesting thing today. In C period, there's another reason I was long. See this print? That's a 1,000,000 share print. We hadn't done more than 300,000 in any of the time frame. That's including every tick at every price. They printed 1,000,000 shares up at 301.50 when we were trading around 301.30 or 301.25. It's another reason I got long. Is like we're going to go back up to that, and we did a couple of times, but it kind of proved to be a level where they didn't get much above it after that. We never even got it after C and D, right? Our afternoon rally high is 301.47. It's an interesting little print there. So that print, but more importantly, the fact that we could not take out the opening after the first 5 minutes of the day certainly was telling us something, even though the market and the indices were up strong. Okay, let's go to the charts. So the monthly, we have 3 days to go in the month. We're in balance. The inside month is holding, right? We're above it by $4 and change, and we're above the trend line. So firmly in balance, but inside month up. That's pretty good. Weekly, I had it balanced to up. I'm calling it firmly up right now until that gap is filled, right? We want to get distance away from previous highs. We tried last week, and we closed above it, but not by a lot. But now we have that monthly gap. That's holding. But here's the important thing. Remember? And I rounded out to 302.50. We're in 302.23, 302.46. So yeah, 302.63. So we bumped our head around the 302.50 level a bunch of times before this market finally exploded to the all-time highs. So I was certainly expecting it not to rip through that the first time. However, you could say I got a little exacting this morning because we opened and went up to 302.19. But again, I mean, the market was literally open in a minute or two. I didn't want to short it at 302.19 and we rip up to 303. So I can't say I'm sorry I didn't take that trade. But we'll see now if this does become another level where it's going to bump its head for a while. And then on the daily, we got above a 5-day balance on a gap. So we're firmly up in the daily. We closed this gap. Got above the 200, right? And the 200 again, it's right, we're right on it. We're basically right on it. And basically, we said this yesterday on Friday. I said, I think the odds are pretty good. The sellers tried last week, push down. I said the odds of getting that 200 and filling that gap were pretty good. And we finally got it. Now the question is, what are the bulls going to do? They pretty much have clear sailing above them, especially above that 302.50 level. So, they gave back a bunch this late in the afternoon. So I don't have a problem if the weekly gap fills, but you would certainly like to hold that daily gap. You don't want to fill the gap, get sucked back totally into here again. You don't want that if you're a bull. But it remains to be seen. We gave great play-by-play updates throughout the day in Camelback trading, right? A lot of little nuances that took place. The room had a pretty good day. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.